Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and give a rousing Kansas City welcome to our Master of Ceremonies, Tim Scott.
Wow, that's great. That's more than I expected for 9 a.m. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Welcome to all of you in Kansas City and to those of you watching our simulcast online. I'm pleased to host the first ever 1 in a Million competition right here in Kansas City as part of our Global Entrepreneurship Week. Now, this event, as most of you know, is about celebrating all of the amazing entrepreneurs who organize, attend, and present at our 77 1 Million Cups communities across America. Now, later on, you're going to meet the 5 finalists, the 5 entrepreneurs who will present right here on this stage, chosen as finalists by our judges earlier this week. Now, throughout the competition, we invite you to join in on the conversation on Twitter, #1NAM. For those of you in the audience here, it would make us super happy if you silenced your cell phones, because we don't want anybody to get sad if your cell phone goes off in the middle of a presentation where someone's trying to win $10,000. So please silence your cell phones, but please also join us on Twitter, #1NAM. But first, before we get started, before we go any further, it is my honor to introduce to you the leader of the organization that founded 1 Million Cups and the 1 in a Million competition. She's the president and CEO of the Ewing Marion Kauffman Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, Wendy Gillis.
Thanks, Tim, and thanks to our guests here at the foundation. Wow, what a great crowd. Thanks for being here. I also want to thank all of those on the live stream, including those who are watching from our 1 Million Cups communities from across the country. You know, as a foundation that is dedicated to carrying out the legacy of Ewing Kauffman, we want this competition today to not only spur the success of the startups you see here, but also to educate everyone in the audience about the important role that entrepreneurs play in our economy and society. Now, this event took months in the making, and it wouldn't have been possible without a whole team of supporters and experts. And I'd like to acknowledge the following individuals for their role in helping bring our finalists here today. First, thank you to our 1 Million Cup supporters in 77 communities who've showcased and supported today's finalists. Thank you to the panel of experts who judged the 377 entries we received and who selected the 15 semifinalists who joined us here in Kansas City yesterday. Thank you to the semifinals judges who had the tough task of narrowing down those 15 to the 5 presenters you'll see here today, and who spent the day yesterday coaching them. And finally, thank you to our 3 finals judges who you'll meet shortly. I also want to thank our generous sponsors, The Roastery, a great Kansas City company that grew from a one-person startup into one of the most successful specialty coffee roasters in the nation. And also KCPT, Kansas City's PBS station, who's going to produce a 1-hour program of this competition for broadcast later. Again, I want to thank everyone for helping these 1 in a Million entrepreneurs to have a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I'm going to hand it back to Tim now. Good luck to everyone, and enjoy.
Thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you. All right, so the 1 in a Million competition began several months ago when the Kauffman Foundation invited entrepreneurs who have presented at 1 Million Cups events anywhere in the country to apply for the chance to be named 1 in a Million and win $10,000 here today. As Wendy said, 377 entrepreneurs from 58 communities across the 1 Million Cups nation submitted applications. A team of judges carefully selected 40 entries and asked those contestants submit a video and tell us their story. Now, following the lessons they learned through the Kauffman Founders School powerful presentations, these 40 contestants crafted concise and compelling messages. We're going to give you a look at some of those highlights right now.
Pilot does for diet, what Fitbit does for exercise.
NextStep.io gives your Fitbit superpowers.
Drybox is like CPR for a wet phone.
It's kind of like Tinder for carpooling.
GoWorks is the Dyson of camera mounts and accessories.
It's like a Dropbox for voices.
Big Dropbox for moms.
We are like jumper cables for your brain.
It's like a homework bodyguard. Think of it like a digital detox.
Open it up, it's like the Russian doll of sporting balls.
We don't believe in a one-size-fits-all world.
At Increment, we believe in the power of play and inclusion. I want future generations to inherit a world worth living in.
One voice can change the world.
Look, we don't have to fear public speaking anymore. There's a better way to overcome it.
Your voice can change someone else's world.
We knew there had to be a clean energy source we could tap to repower the world.
We have eliminated the use of over 78,000 disposable containers.
And it helped educate them making the right decision to go solar.
IDLESMART saves the fleet around $3,000 per truck per year and 38,000 pounds of CO2 emissions.
Last year, over 13 million piglets died because they were laid on. This resulted in a loss of over $689 million to the pork industry.
We started Remill to purposefully repurpose reclaimed materials.
The world needs an energy upgrade, and we have the technology to do it.
Our technology gives control back to the consumer.
So leave the science to us and take the next step in getting healthy.
Here we are, back in the GoWork studio, which is actually my basement.
So first, let me ask you a question. How much salt did you have last night?
Would you run a company that wasted 80% of its capacity?
What does that mean? What do I mean by higher revenue? What do I mean by lower operating expenses? What do I mean by detailed data? And what does that mean?
Who wants to play Arya Ball?
Arya Ball! Who is afraid of a 5-year-old bully?
Have you ever been to the bank or DMV and forgot something?
You're probably asking yourself, what's childhood brain obesity?
We are in the rescue business and save people from their worst nightmare, a wet cell phone.
People hoping to retire someday are why we created Bloom.
iPort is changing craft beer. Cheers.
Kombucha on tap is a lot like the ocean, and not everybody's drawn to it.
And we're making waves.
I wasn't sure what to make of the idea at first.
We're making education an adventure.
We're breaking the mold on entrepreneurship.
It's just a matter of time before Gibson is a household name.
So join our cause and become the artist of your health.
Remember, Arya Ball does it all.
We truly are 1 in a million.
Connect IQ is the solution.
Let's get it done.
Absolutely. Some of those entrepreneurs are in the audience today. The others, I'm sure, are for sure watching on our simulcast. So thank you for that round of applause to recognize their hard work and their innovation. Now, before we get started with the event here today, let's go over how the competition will work. So each of the 5 finalists are going to present here today in random order. Each of them has 6 minutes to present their startup concept. Following that pitch, our 3 judges are going to have 4 minutes to ask some questions, and then we'll have 2 minutes for audience members to ask questions at these 2 stand microphones that you see in front of you. Then the judges will have a few minutes to deliberate before the next competitor comes up onto the stage. The judges will be evaluating each competitor based on their business plan and their presentation that you will see right in front of you here today. When all 5 of the competitors have presented, the judges will select. There will be a 3rd place winner who will win $1,000. There will be a 2nd place winner who will win $5,000. And then, of course, the 1 in a million champion will walk home with a pretty giant-sized check for $10,000. Okay, those are the rules. Did you get them? Good. Let's meet our 3 esteemed judges who have joined us here this morning. They are extraordinary business leaders who will judge our finalists today and select the 1 in a million winner. First of all, we have Marcelo Claure, President and Chief Executive Officer of Sprints. While Sprint is one of America's best-known brands, Marcelo is an entrepreneur at heart. He previously founded Brightstar Corporation, which he grew into the world's largest global wireless distribution and services company. Marcelo, thank you for being here with us today. We have our next judge, Nicole Glaros. Nicole, Partner and Chief Product Officer of Techstars, a global entrepreneurial ecosystems. She was named one of the 7 most powerful women to watch by Entrepreneur Magazine, also serves on the board of Simple Energy, Owlet, and the Entrepreneurs Foundation of Colorado. And our 3rd and final judge, Miriam Rivera, co-founder of Bay Area Growth Fund, Stanford Angels, and Entrepreneurs. She was Google's first vice president, deputy general counsel. She has mentored entrepreneurs in the Stanford Technology Ventures program, Stanford Graduate School of Business as well. Thank you to all 3 judges for being here with us today. Okay, that's enough of this. So you've heard the rules, you've met the judges, you saw a video. It's time to get this thing started. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming our very first entrepreneur. I'm pleased to introduce our first finalist, Max Aram from Los Angeles. Max is the founder and CEO of Pick My Solar. Max.
Thank you, Tim.
Good morning. Glad to be here. My name is Max Aram. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Pick My Solar. I'm coming from a country which is heavily dependent on fossil fuels. Like any other Persian, oil means corruption, injustice, lack of opportunities, lack of fair shots. It's a gem that you really don't want to have. So when I started my journey, it's very personal. In 2009, I joined the green movement in my country to make a change in our political system, and it was fatally cracked down. I almost lost my sister, and I had to flee the country, leave everything and everyone behind. So my journey started with a short stop at Berlin when I was exposed to renewable energies and solar in particular. For me, solar is more than carbon footprint. It's more about energy security and peace. So when I came to this great country in 2010 with the American dream, I was driven, I worked really hard, and I started my journey here. I wanted to just get involved with solar because of many reasons. After I finished my master's, I started looking into solar industry, and that was, Jesus. So I shouldn't have talked about my background in Iran because it always makes me emotional. So anyway, solar is a great technology, and I wanted to get involved, promote this great technology. If you look into solar industry in the United States, it's highly fragmented. It shocked me how early stage this market is. So today, solar installers are selling this great technology like the way we were selling vacuum cleaners 50 years ago, like kitchen table presentations. So my business partner and I decided to build the first online marketplace for this great technology to bring efficiency and transparency to the solar market. It's like LendingTree or Expedia, but for solar industry. The reason that we started from solar is because, A, it's highly fragmented, and also it's a big market. Out of 135 million homeowners in the United States, 9 million are actually qualified to get solar. And out of those, 6 million are actively shopping for solar. By the end of 2018, 2 million new homeowners will adapt this great technology. It creates a $50 billion fragmented market ready for Uber-style disruption. In the next 3 years, $5 billion will be spent on the customer acquisition by solar installers. That creates a great opportunity. Solar companies are spending more than $5,000 and get salespeople involved in order to get one sale. Using Pick My Solar, they don't have to pay a penny upfront, and we deliver them signed contract for half a price. That's why they like us a lot. On the other side of the transaction, in order to have a good online marketplace, you have to have a very strong value prop for both sides of the transaction. So we decided to make a service that's a no-brainer for the homeowners. Let's watch this video.
Are you excited about going solar? Probably not, because buying a solar system is a huge pain. The solar market is full of marked up sticker prices and confusing components that you have to figure out on your own. Outdated door-to-door sales models are filled with pushy salesmen just trying to make a big commission off your solar project with a quick sale. And if you want to shop around, each company pushes you to go through unnecessary site visits. If you make it past all of that, you still have to figure out rebates, financing, and permitting for your system. No wonder you're not excited. You should be though, because now you can use Pick My Solar to compare quotes from different solar companies all in one place. Buying your solar system is now easier than ever, and our service is 100% free with no obligation. We'll post your project on our private bidding platform for our network of top solar installers to compete for your business. And we guarantee to find you the best deal in the market. Bonus? All of the solar installers in our network have been vetted and approved by our industry experts, so there are no worries about getting a shady company. Our solar experts will walk you through every step of the process and negotiate on your behalf to get you the best deal. And since Pick My Solar connects you directly with project managers, you get to skip all of the spam, salesmen, and commissions that would be added onto the price tag of your solar system. Even price estimates, design, and bidding are done all online. Plus, you'll eliminate your electric bill with clean, renewable energy. So, are you excited now? The future's looking bright. Let's get started. PickMySolar.com. When solar companies compete, you win.
So thank you. We started almost 2 years ago. The first year we were more focused on proving the business model because it was a unique business model, and also building the platform, tweaking the algorithms in order to make a scalable business. In Q4 of last year, we closed our angel round, and after that we launched our first marketing campaign. Since then, we've helped more than 15,000 homeowners with solar pricing data and processed the projects for more than 800 customers and closed more than $3 million in sales. We got the attention of search engine giant Google. They reached out to us, literally solicited us a few months ago, asked us to join their new solar initiative, Project Sunroof. They chose 8 companies throughout the country. 7 of them are major solar players, and last one is Pick My Solar, which represents a large network of installers. We got 2 grants from DOE. We have exclusive partnerships with nonprofits, public schools, and cities. Mayor of LA honored us as 2015 Outstanding Small Business, and we won 2 business awards. Tech Week LA just happened last Friday, and I hope we win the 3rd one today. So we are closing a $25,000 contract, $25,000 contract, 100% online without any handshake. That's how good we are. 3 years from now, we'll be providing the full energy solution for the smart homes of the future. We're building the next billion-dollar energy company without a single boot on the ground. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Max. All right, so now we're going to have 4 minutes of questions from the judges. Questions?
You put some numbers up there really quick. I was just hoping you could review them for me. Can you give me an idea of how you're actually acquiring homeowners? So is it Google Ads? Is it SEO? Walk me through your...
Yeah, great question. We have 4 major channels to acquire customers. One of them is organic, which we write articles, SEO, SEM, and we release PRs, news, everything on that category, which is free. And one category is online ads, mainly Facebook and Google AdWords. Google AdWords has been working really good for us. And also the other one is channel partners, which is the cheapest way of acquiring customer. Our partnership with Google is special. It's a pilot project that we work with them in 3 cities, and we're going to expand nationally by the end of this year. That's free. We exchange data in return. So one thing that I want to mention here, that 66 bids that we receive, it's a very unique data set that nobody else has in the market. Every bid that we receive from the installers is the unique combination of product and price. It's a very high-res data that Google is very interested in that.
So just real quick, so of the 15,000 homeowners, 6,600 of them did quotes, and that got you 826 solar projects?
Yes, we process the project for 800 customers. So we have one side of the business, which is the KBB style. Homeowners go and play with the numbers. They put their zip code and electric bill and play with the numbers. So if they really like the numbers, if it makes sense for them, they actually register after that. We don't try to hide any numbers from the homeowners. And after they get into our sales pipeline, we process the project and walk them through the process. I can show you how the process works, actually. This is the way that works. Homeowners register on the website, and we get on the phone with them for 10-15 minutes. We walk them through the process. We educate them on solar, and we give them very accurate, customized price projections. And if they're ready to pull the trigger, we size and design their solar system, and then we post the project live. We have a network of installers, 100 installers in California, and 20 in Boston, and 10 in New York. We just launched to New York. They bid on the projects. We collect around 8 to 12 bids on each project and run it through our algorithms and find the best 3 bids on each project, advise the homeowners on those. And when homeowners choose one of the bids, the specs of that is automatically plugged into a standard contract that we have. It's sent to the homeowner through DocuSign. It goes to the installer. To the installer, they e-sign it, goes to the homeowner, they e-sign it as a binding contract between those parties. Then we charge the installer for a transaction fee. And also, after the installation is completed, we get homeowners involved with their solar project, with solar system on a daily basis through our patent pending app. That's very valuable data.
Let's try to get one more question before the time's up for the judges.
Cool. Could you describe some of the ideas behind the algorithms and what it is that you're trying to maximize in terms of either the preferences of the consumer or of the bidding process?
60-second answer. That's how much time.
Great question. So the algorithm looks into more than 30 different factors. So solar, the price, product, quality of the service, and everything. There are more than 30 different factors that we look into when we analyze each bid. If you scale it up, you post 100 projects and you receive 10 bids on each project. It's impossible to manually analyze them. So we had to have an algorithm. And also, we took it one step further, and based on homeowners' taste, we kind of gamify the initial part of the conversation to get an understanding of what type of, what personality the homeowner is. And based on their personality, we recommend the bids that has higher chance of closing. So right now we have the absolutely best conversion rates in the market. From the registration to transaction, we have 20% conversion rate. The market standard is 5%, and we are projecting to increase that to 25%, which will...
2 minutes for audience questions. Anybody in the audience come up with these stand mics real quick? 2 minutes goes real quickly. Come on up to the microphone quickly at a pace that I would describe as rapid. There we go. Question.
Alrighty, hi. Thank you so much for coming here. My question involves your marketing process. I would love to hear your marketing process regarding social media, online, word of mouth, or even commercial.
Yep, it's a great question. So follow on the comment that the answer. So on the social media and the online ads, we mainly target the secondary market, which means the homeowners who are actively shopping for solar. So we don't want to hit the people who have never heard about solar. We let major solar companies like SolarCity to target those people, educate them, and when they're ready to pull the trigger, when they're shopping around, we make sure that they come across our name. That's
Any other questions from the audience?
Yes. So far, you've talked mostly about marketing to the homeowners. How do you actually get the bidders or the providers involved, first of all, to even know about your service, and then how do you actually qualify them? I know you have some experts, but you can only do so many.
Less than a minute, Max.
Yep. So getting the first installer was really difficult. So nobody trusted. Nobody said, what the heck is this business model? They didn't trust the business model. But right now, we have the installers coming to our website. They apply. We qualify only 30% of the installers who come to us and apply. So we got covered by basically all the media that installers read, Green Tech Media, Clean Technica. So all of them, they covered our model. So we have brand recognition in the industry. Although we're less than 1 year old, but we have a solid traction on the media side, so we have good traction on the installers.
All right, that's about it. Max, Aram, it's tough to go first. Thank you so much. Pick My Solar. The unenviable task of going first. Nice job, Max. So we're going to give the judges a few seconds to deliberate, and while we do that, let's learn a little bit more about 1 Million Cups, the nationwide program which today's contestants were selected from. So please help me welcoming Catherine Widrig and Jordan Marcillo from the Kauffman Foundation.
Good morning. My name is Catherine Widrig, and I'm here with my colleague Jordan Marcillo, and we are the program coordinators for the National 1 Million Cups program out of the Kauffman Foundation. As most of you know, 1 Million Cups is a free weekly event designed to educate, engage, and connect entrepreneurs.
The program was started here by the Kauffman Foundation in 2012 with the idea that it takes 1 million cups of coffee to unite an entrepreneurial nation. Over the past 3 years, the program has grown from our first community here in Kansas City to over 77 communities in 37 states.
The format is simple. 2 startups have 6 minutes to present, followed by 20 minutes of Q&A, in which the audience gives valuable feedback to the entrepreneur on their business. The program is led by hundreds of volunteers across the nation, most of whom are entrepreneurs themselves.
To help presenters prepare, the entrepreneurs watch the powerful presentation video series from Kauffman Founder School. In the video you guys are about to see, you'll hear from organizers, audience members, presenters from 1 Million Cups communities across the nation.
1 Million Cups is a weekly educational program developed by the Kauffman Foundation.
Over the years, we've added more cities. It creates a great energy here to see what's happening across the country.
What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable.
Sitting in a room with other people that have ideas too, it helps people to leave thinking, you know what, my idea is worth something. It's worth pursuing. It's worth going after it. Even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.
And to find out more information on how to present at 1 Million Cups or bring 1 Million Cups to your community, please visit our website, 1millioncups.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Jordan. All right, it is now my pleasure to introduce our second finalist to you today from New Sharon, Iowa. He is the founder of Swine Tech, Matthew Ruda.
As a little kid, I was always around pigs. I remember working on the farm with my grandpa, where I would help feed pigs and even help deliver babies. I vividly remember, though, the stresses my grandpa went through when he'd find out that piglets had just died because their mom laid on them, just like this one. On average, or last year, 13 million piglets died because they were laid on. Luckily, this guy made it out. Lay-ons on average are costing the average corporate hog farmer over $276,000 a year. And it's costing the US pork industry over $689 million every year. I'm Matthew Ruda, CEO of Swine Tech. And in my time as a farrowing manager in Waterloo, Iowa, I was able to personally experience all the pain points farmers go through on a daily basis. I quickly realized that if I wanted to increase production, I was gonna have to solve the problem of piglets getting crushed. But I couldn't, until now. Now, I have the team, an amazing team, to get the job done. Our team is experienced in swine management, ag sales and marketing, engineering design, computer programming, international manufacturing, and our CTO was a computer and data forensics consultant for the Pentagon, Royal Air Force, and of course, NASA. We interviewed farmers from all over the world, and 92% of them stated that they were all facing the exact same problem, and that problem was that their piglets were getting crushed. We asked farmers what they want to see in a product, and through much iteration, we delivered on exactly what they asked for. Our product, Echo, is the simple solution farmers have been desperately looking for. It has three major functions. First, a farmer can plug their heat lamps directly into our device. Echo will then analyze the temperature of where the piglets are laying and adjust it to optimize their health. A farmer will see reduced labor costs, fewer piglets getting crushed, and less disease. But we realize heat lamp management will not work 100% of the time, but that's okay, because we have a second line of defense. That line of defense is our proprietary technology that analyzes piglet squeals. It can accurately detect when a piglet is getting laid on by assessing the wavelengths and frequencies of each and every squeal. This graph represents a piglet that's angry. Oh, he's mad. Because another piglet, how dare he greedily steal his food? Whereas this graph represents that of a piglet getting laid on. And you can tell by the breath squeal that this piglet will make until it eventually suffocates and dies. Now, when we detect this lay-on event, Echo communicates to a device on the mom and initiates a gentle impulse to her flank, alerting her to stand up and allowing that little piglet to run free. Now, farmers came to us and they're like, is there any way that you can send alerts to my phone or computer telling me whether an abnormal activity is occurring in the farm? And we said, yes, we can. We got an app for that. In future upgrades, we're able to tell a farmer if the sow is sick, if she's not milking properly, or if she's frequently laying on her piglets and something needs to happen. One Echo device is priced at $1,000 and saves 61 piglets a year, giving a return on investment of $3,050 per year. The average purchase size will be 35 units, so yes, we have a leasing option. And this will generate over $109,000 in revenue annually for that farm. We are targeting the 9,000 largest pork producers in the US because they represent 87.5%, 4.4% of the US pork industry. We will reach these companies through swine genetics companies because this $21.2 billion market sees these genetic companies every single week. 80% of farmers are covered by the leading 4 genetics companies in the US. And these genetic companies, since they make those frequent trips every week, said that they would act as distributors for our product. So far, since we started in May, 6 months ago, we've graduated from the University of Iowa Venture School and received a $20,000 investment through the Iowa Startup Accelerator. We still need to raise around $250,000 to cover the manufacturing, the distribution, and the operational costs for 2016. We have current customers in Iowa and North Carolina, the US's leading pork producers. And these customers own many farms beyond the ones we are testing in. And sales to these farms will generate over $500,000 in revenue our first year. This is just the beginning. We plan to grow exponentially. We plan to hit 14% of the pork industry in the next 5 years, which would generate just over $56 million in revenue for SwineTech. Join us in changing the way we look at farming forever. We are SwineTech. We are the next best thing in the pork industry. Go Hawks.
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. I would not have guessed I was going to hear about crushed piglets this morning, so thank you for that. 4 minutes, judges' questions.
So one of the biggest problems with distributor relationships typically is decreasing margins and or lack of skill in selling your product and the internal conflicts that they have trying to sell their own products. How do you overcome some of those issues?
A lot of the concentrations between genetics companies and what we do is very similar. We have the same common goal to reduce laid-on piglets and increase production. So we were essentially helping market each other, and they saw it as a way to get an advantage over their competition by getting in the door and showing this product to getting someone to switch to theirs. Granted, they don't always have to go through the genetics company to do it, but it gives them a good relationship builder with the client. Typically, these clients already have good relationships with them, so it allows us to kind of get a foot in the door, so to speak.
Have you done any efficacy testing on the product? I mean, is it actually going to cause the mama to get up and not lay on her babies?
Yes, we use the average dog collar. And I'll actually demonstrate it for you. That
no, thank you.
It's safe. Okay, so I mean, for me, I can do it over and over and over. I mean, I'm moving, but we tested it, and we found that 94% of the time, the sow does stand up. But then if she doesn't stand up the first time, we wait 6 seconds, then we'll deliver it again, and then they do always stand up. Now, unless they're sick or hurt, which is why we only do it 2 times, to prevent from doing something to an animal that can't actually stand up. That way we'd send the alert to the farmer. We found that we're accurate testing where you can identify the piglet squeals 95% of the time accurately, and we don't have too many false positive, 2% get shocking at the wrong time.
So how unique is your product? What would prevent somebody, if you start actually selling and gaining some market share, for somebody to actually make a pretty similar product?
Well, we got the patents pending on it. Utility patents, international and both domestic. And we're pretty tight covered on there. We're using a patent attorney who used to work for Rolls-Royce, and he's really reputable, so it's pretty tight. And then in the future, we have a pretty good IP attorney to keep us safe. Yeah.
Are there fundamental problems with either the confinement space or overfeeding of animals that makes them unstable and makes them fall? Because my grandmother had pigs too, and I never remember any of them being killed by their moms.
Actually, so if you could imagine yourself having eight babies at the same time, they're tired, they're exhausted, so they stand up to eat, and they'll look back, but when they lay down, they've got 14 to 16 babies running underneath of them. And it's just incidentally, one will get stuck. And by the time they're sitting down, they're typically too lazy to stand back up. And then that piglet ends up dying.
Any other questions from the judges? Side of bacon for anybody up front? No? All right, we have 2 minutes for audience questions. Stand mics right here. If you have a question, hit these stand mics. Sir? Okay.
Just wanting to know how transferable this technology is to infant monitoring of humans.
I definitely have not looked into that. I'm sure many moms don't want the impulses to get up, but I hear there's a market for dogs, so in the future we have that, and with our heating technology, we can push that into further agricultural areas.
So just generally speaking, when you call in a plant manager, is this a problem they're going to immediately understand and feel pain around? And if so, what do you think stopped anyone from trying to solve it before?
This is definitely a problem that almost everybody is facing, and they definitely recognize it right away. Anything that would stop them would be they don't believe it. It's just too good to be true sometimes. Some of the test data we're getting, they're just like, how in the heck can I make that much more money that fast? And so in those cases, we can do tests and run special options, at least for the field trial stage. But yeah.
Any other questions from anybody in the audience? No? Thank you so much, Matthew. Great job.
Thank you.
All right, we'll give the judges a few minutes to deliberate again one more time. And while they do that, let's take a moment to hear from one of our sponsors, the company that provided all of our guests with that great coffee this morning, right here in Kansas City. Ladies and gentlemen, The Roastery.
In 1993, you did not quit a great job and just not do anything. I mean, you just didn't do that. I just had this overwhelming sense that I needed to do something different with my life. Coffee was the only idea that I had. I was so naive, I didn't have near enough money saved up or anything like that. Almost everybody else thought I was kind of crazy. There was a big bookstore in Metcalf, and I went in with with the intention of buying every single thing I could about coffee and getting into it and researching it. And there were 2 books and a VHS tape, and that was it. That was all that there was on coffee. The coffee culture just simply wasn't here at the time. I said whole bean back then, and people were like, what do you mean? Coffee, it's a bean? So 3 months went by where I'm out trying to make a sale all day, every single day, and I didn't make a single sale. To feel like a total abject loser is like understatement. And I just kept getting up and doing it, and I just wasn't gonna quit until I had to quit. And we came, within 3 days to get my house repossessed, and we're working 20, 21 hours a day. And that's the absolute truth. I say we, it was my dog and I at the time. The first order I got was KU Med Center, and it was for 10 pounds, and so it was probably $37. And I still remember driving down State Line Road just shaking. That order changed everything. The roastery today versus where it was then, a lot of it hasn't changed. Buy the best coffee we could find in the world, roast it the best way known to mankind, and get it to the customer as fast as humanly possible. And that is still absolutely the three-legged stool today. We focus on that. What has changed is we just keep getting faster, faster, faster. Absolutely love whatever you do. Coffee was the only idea that I had. There'd kind of be this, good luck with that, make a living doing that. And well, I did.
Great startup story, great coffee. Thank you so much to The Roastery for being one of our sponsors today at this 1 million event. Okay, it's time to hear from our third finalist. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome from right here in the Kansas City metro area, the CEO of Bloom. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Costello.
Thank you. Very hard to follow the Bean Baron, but I'll do my best. Today, to start off, I need everybody's help. Please put your hand in the air today if you hope at some point, at any point in your future, to be able to retire. Raise your hand and keep it up. Now, keep it up in the air. Put it down if either you have a qualified professional that you trust helping you, or you just really enjoy being your own money manager. You can put your hand down if that fall. For everybody else in here today, does this look like something that may be a strategy that you might have been following up to this point? First slide, please. Thank you. You are not alone. Today, there are nearly 100 million people in this country saving for retirement. Sadly, only 10% of these people either possess the investing acumen or have a portfolio large enough where they can actually attract the help of a qualified professional advisor. I am Chris Costello, CEO and co-founder of Bloom. To begin with today, I want to share a personal story with all of you. About 2 years ago, I called my sister Annie to get her 401k login credentials so that we could test out Bloom on her account. Sadly, after logging into her account, I was shocked to see that my younger sister's account was entirely invested in the money market account, earning zero. Now, this wasn't because she was scared of the market. It was because she was too confused by the complex choices in her 401k to figure it out for herself. Why are so many people getting this stuff wrong? It is because most people are intimidated, they're confused, and they are overwhelmed. Bloom is proud to announce that we have created a simple, scalable way to help millions of people fix their 401ks and keep them fixed. So let's have a look. Randy starts by entering some very basic information, such as his name and, most importantly, when he would like to retire. From here, Randy can simply select the box for where his 401k is held, or he can easily search for it right below. Next, Randy enters his login credentials that he would normally use to access his 401k online. Bloom now goes to work to extract the investment data from Randy's account. Next, Bloom takes this data and displays for him the health of his 401k. But notice, no PhD in finance required to interpret. Instead, we use the everyday analogy of the flower to communicate the health of his account. Bloom now runs through a proprietary algorithm to show a simple comparison for how his account should be allocated. Now, watch this. This is the really cool part here. We give Randy the ability to adjust that recommendation a little bit, either more aggressive or more conservative. How cool is that? Once he confirms his allocation, agrees to the legal, and enters his payment information, Bloom will then go to work to select the appropriate investments within his 401k. This is important. Bloom places the trades for the client. In fact, I want to be crystal clear here. There are a number of other companies in this space offering advice on 401ks. Bloom isn't unique in that we actually manage the account for our clients. Once a client, Bloom will rebalance the account every 90 days, place all the trades for the client, and adjust the stock to bond mix as the client gets closer to retirement. All for $15 a month. Oh, and by the way, if the account balance is under $20,000, the cost is $1 per month. We tell our clients often, you sock away the money, we'll take it from there. Not quite a year ago, we launched Bloom to the country at Finovate in New York City in front of 1,500 people. We did Kansas City damn proud that day by walking away out of 70 companies with a best of show. That then catapulted Bloom onto the national stage and in turn led to some wonderful press. Today, I am proud to say that we have clients in all 50 states and are quietly, as is the case here in the Midwest, managing $150 million for our clients today. And for the first 2.5 years of this journey, this was a bootstrapped, founder-funded company. But I'm proud to announce that 4 weeks ago, we closed a $4 million Series A raise, proof that Kansas City companies can raise money without relocating to Silicon Valley. And proof that the Royals can win the World Series. Now I'd like to take a moment to publicly recognize the Bloom team. It's one thing for the co-founders to be passionate about what you're building. But when 20 people find their way to Bloom and work for a fraction of what they're capable of earning, it tells you you're onto something. I will leave you with this today. 30 years from now, the retirement fate of an entire generation will largely rest on the backs of companies like Bloom being able to provide a simple, scalable solution, priced fairly, and available to everyone, regardless of account size. Thank you.
That was great. Thank you. Check 1, 2, sound check, thank you. All right, Chris, we've got 4 minutes for some questions from our judges here.
Any data on the results of the investments that you're making? Like what percentages of growth? Is it beating the market? Is it under market?
So I would never, with all due respect, I would never in a million years market Bloom that this is going to be better. We're talking about marketing Bloom to people that have no help. Our clients are saying, thank you, I had no clue what I'm doing. They're not shopping at another competitor and saying, well, can you beat this outfit and that outfit? We're talking about 70, 80 million people that have no strategy. My sister, who's all in cash, she just needs some help.
Right, so I guess my point is though that Kat, like, you could be losing her money. So do you have, how about this question?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a target success? Like we want to equal the market, you know, the S&P or whatever.
Well, the S&P is just the U.S. market too. So our goal with the algorithm is to take, remember, we have to use the funds that are available in each 401k. I can't introduce new options into that. So we take the existing choice, could be 30 or 40 options within the Sprint 401k. We have to make the best use out of those options and hopefully give our clients exposure to about the top 12 major asset classes. Our algorithm, to dig a little bit deeper, uses the one with the lowest cost in each asset class category. So we get them in a wonderful, beautifully diversified portfolio. We rebalance them every 90 days, and through constant communication done in an easily digestible manner, we keep them invested. It doesn't matter if I've got a crystal ball and can predict the future. If I can't get you to stay in that investment, it doesn't matter.
How do you address some of the legal exposure in terms of clients that are unsophisticated, getting automated advice, timing of sales, perhaps not meeting market considerations like, you know, fast drops, et cetera, and also your name? Do you think Bloomberg is going to come after you for that name in the financial services area?
Well, keep in mind, there's 3 O's in Bloom. So it's because Bloom was already taken. Those are wonderful questions. Bloom is a registered investment advisor with the SEC. It's what I've done for the first 18 years before Bloom of my career. Very comfortable operating in this space. There's certainly risk that we don't place a trade properly, and that's why we're covered for that type of thing. It's a cost of doing business. But keep in mind, we have to use just the funds inside the 401k. All transactions, mutual funds, are priced at the end of the day, so all transactions go in at the end of the day no matter what.
How do you market to people? How do you let them know that you exist?
So 2 distinct channels at this point. I'm not bashful in saying that we're early enough in this journey where we're still trying to figure out the best direction. Obviously, our client is the consumer. So a direct-to-consumer channel is one that we're certainly approaching and working on aggressively, whether it be through search, through Facebook, through well-timed ads. But the thing about this market, even though I'm so optimistic about the size and how badly needed Bloom is, it's a very apathetic market. Unfortunately, a lot of people do not prioritize their investments. So we're going to have to be very creative to get at those people, because that's where Wall Street and financial services industry at large have not been able to crack. They might say that we're interested in helping middle Americans, but in reality, the bigger the account, the better. The other side of our business is through enterprise channels. And you made a wonderful point earlier when you talked about, you know, anytime you go through an enterprise, you face brand dilution, you face margin compression, and but it does help us scale quickly. And we've got some wonderful large partnerships in the works right now. So I'd say I'd rather answer that question in about 6 months in terms of which I think channel will be better for Bloom long term.
What's the max reallocation that a person can do by increasing their risk tolerance? Is there some range around that?
I'm sure that's a very important question, but time for judges' questions has expired. We have 2 minutes for questions from the audiences. Question from the audience, not audiences. Go ahead.
Good morning. Do you have an option for people who don't have a 401k but may be interested in investing their money and don't know what they're doing? Perhaps like if I'm starting a business and so I don't have my own 401k, but this would be something that would be beneficial?
That is an awesome question. Thank you for asking. And it's actually a question we get all of the time. Right now, Bloom only manages 401ks, 403bs, TSPs. Every single day we get asked that question right there, or I've got an old rollover IRA from a previous job. Can you help me with that? At this point, no, but trust me, that is in the works. We recognize that's a big opportunity for us.
Another question right here.
I think the judge's question to follow up was gauging risk tolerance of the consumer.
1 minute, Chris.
So yes, thank you very much. So risk tolerance is a very ambiguous question. In my experience in the business, when you ask a lot of clients whether they're conservative, moderate, aggressive, a lot of the times I'd get the question, do you mean politically or with my investments? So we ask the most important question. If you remember, Randy put his date of birth in and indicated his time to retirement. Time frame is everything. With that really cool slider tool, we then allowed him to weigh in and potentially dial more aggressive, more conservative. I think your question was headed towards maybe how much range do we give somebody. We believe we're in the business of giving advice. If a 30-year-old wants to put all of their money in money market like my sister had, they should do that, but do not hire Bloom and pay us to do that. I do not think that's the right thing to do. We are giving advice.
Real quick.
Yes, sir. What are you going to do about like fraud? Because if people are giving you their username and password, login credentials, what are you going to do about that? Because as we all know, that's a huge problem in this country.
Chris, I'll give you 15 seconds.
Thank you. Great question. Mint faced the same concern 7 years ago about they've got 15 million users today. Every single day, more and more people are getting more comfortable transacting their financial affairs in various ways on the internet.
Thank you so much, Chris. That's Bloom.
Thank you.
Again, we'll give the judges a few minutes to deliberate on that, and while we do, we'd like to recognize another one of our sponsors. We're going to see a brief video and hear from our 1 in a Million sponsor, KCPT.
It was in 1844 that Congress authorized $30,000 for the first telegraph line between Washington and Baltimore. And soon afterwards, Samuel Morse sent a stream of dots and dashes over that line, and his message was brief and prophetic, and it read, "What hath God wrought?" Every one of us should feel the same awe and wonderment here today. For today, miracles in communication are daily routine. Billions of signals rush over the ocean and fly above the clouds. Radio and television fill the air with sound. Satellite hurl messages thousands of miles in a matter of seconds. And today our problem is not making miracles, but managing miracles. And we might well ponder a different question. What hath man wrought? And how will man use his invention? Our nation wants more than just material wealth. We in America have an appetite for excellence too. And while we work every day to produce new goods and to create new wealth, we want most of all to enrich man's spirit. So today we rededicate a part of the airwaves which belong to all the people, and we dedicate them for the enlightenment of all the people. I believe the time has come to stake another claim. Stake a claim based upon the combined resources of communications. I believe the time has come to enlist the computer and the satellite, as well as television and radio, and to enlist them in the cause of education. I think we must consider new ways to build a great network for knowledge, not just a broadcast system, but one that employs every means of sending and of storing information that the individual can use. What hath man wrought? And how will man use his miracles? The answer just begins with public television.
KCPT. A great sponsor, KCPT. In fact, KCPT and the Kauffman Foundation won an Emmy Award for the production they did of an event like this last year. So thank you to KCPT for being a great sponsor of this event. It is now my pleasure to introduce our fourth finalist to you today. He is from Minneapolis, Minnesota, the founder and CEO of Upsy, Clarence Bethea.
Hi, my name is Clarence Bethea. I'm the founder and CEO of Upsy, the new way to warranty. We've all been here before. We walk into a big box store and we're preparing to check out, and the guy at the register hits us with that same question: can I offer you an extended warranty? We all hate that moment. Hell, even our president hates that moment. But we're all dealing with the same thing when we get to the register. Terms and conditions that none of us understand. We're generally paying somewhere between 100% and 800% markup. And when it's time to make a claim, none of us know where our receipt is, none of us know what to do. But Upsy's solving that problem today. Upsy is a free mobile app that allows you to protect the things that you love with terms and conditions that you understand. We generally save you somewhere between 50 to 90% versus the big box store. And when it's time to make a claim, we store that receipt for you all in the app, and we get you directly to the insurance company that can take care of it for you. This industry is massive. It's a $40 billion industry today. But that's $40 billion with just a 23% attachment rate. So we think the opportunity is not just that 23%, but we think the opportunity is 77% that don't purchase today. And the reason why they don't purchase is because it costs too much and it doesn't make sense. But let's give you a real-life example of what happens today. So you walk into that big box store and you're preparing to buy that brand new TV, and the guy at the register tells you that it costs $130 to protect it. But really what's happening is that warranty really costs $30. It's coming from an insurance company who then gives it to the big box company and offers it to you for a marked up price. Well, Upsy takes that same $30 price, offers you a fair price and a fair markup, but then we offer you the other benefits of storing the warranty for you, notifying you when claims are due, and letting you know that you always have access to it. But Upsy has bigger ambitions. Upsy wants to own a home. We want to protect everything in your house. Last week, we launched a new product, a new home warranty product that allows you to protect multiple things in your house for one low monthly fee. But our ambitions are even bigger than that. We don't just want to protect one smartphone. We want to protect every smartphone in your house. We want to protect every computer in your house. Early on, we targeted early tech adopters, and that allowed us to get great feedback and to improve our product. And now with our new home warranty product, we're able to get customers all across the country. 2.5 years ago, we raised $1.3 million, and that allowed us to find a great partner, to get regulated in the industry, and to continue to build out a great product and a great team. And just a year in, we've had over 85,000 downloads. We've generated revenue since day one, and we've been featured in some of the most prominent media outlets across the country. But none of this is possible without our great team. When we started this company, we said we wanted to bring on not just great warranty people, but we wanted to bring on great business people. So we went out and got the former CEO of Best Buy to join us as chairman, and he leads us and leads our board. And I can tell you, nobody sold more warranty than this guy, I promise. Then we went out and we got former chief of staff for Best Buy, Stacy Webb. She's a big help to our business. But then there's the rest of our team that are dedicated to the mission, and that's about saving consumers real money. But Upsy is so much more than just a company that sells warranties. Upsy is a company that's helping consumers keep money in their pocket. Like the mom who approached us and said, hey, I'm buying my daughter a new computer for college. And I've been saving up for months to get it. And when I went into the big box store, they wanted $400 to protect that. But she knew about Upsy, so she pulled out her phone, and we charged her $139. And she said, Clarence, thank you so much, with tears in her eyes. Now I don't have to decide between buying a warranty and buying groceries next week. We think that's the real power of Upsy. We think that that's our top opportunity with you, the people. Thank you so much for having us here today, and welcome to the new way to warranty.
Thank you, Clarence. 4 minutes for questions from the judges.
Just a real quick clarifying question. Are you just an app, or are you actually the financial institution that's backing warranty?
We're just the app. We're just the front-end marketing.
So this is a pretty complex industry, right? And most people would not want you to succeed, right? Best Buy doesn't want you to succeed. Every mobile phone carrier doesn't want you to succeed because we all make a lot of money selling loss, theft, and insurance products, so you're fighting some pretty big companies. One. More importantly, it's more complex than people think, all the claims processing, fraud. There's a lot that goes on. How are you planning to manage all that, the complexities? Because you're putting the name of your brand, but if whoever is providing the warranty doesn't do a good job, it's you that they're not going to blame it on that company, they're going to blame it on you.
Yep. So we're very involved with our service partner. So we have a guy that actually all he does is partner with the company and worry about the service. So for us, we've been able to mitigate some of those claims because we're involved with the whole process. Of course, in this industry, as you know, there is a ton of fraud, and we do some things on the front end to negate that. So asking you for a receipt, putting a time limit on when you can, and putting a time limit on when you can purchase.
Sometimes just lowering the price of a service doesn't guarantee you success.
Exactly.
So you got to make sure that you up the service.
I'm just trying to figure out what exactly makes you protectable as a business, because the people that are taking the risks, figuring out the cost, providing the actual coverage are somewhere else, and it seems like there could be lots of front ends.
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question.
So another company could come in and do your portion because it's not the real material cost of the business from the point of view of the risks that are being insured. And it seems like somebody else could come up with a better front end that helps the consumer to be able to get access to those kinds of resources.
Well, as he said, the industry is a really difficult industry to get into. So it's not just people jumping in. You have to understand not just warranty industry, but how claims work. And so we're the only company that currently do what we do today. And that's because it is so difficult and it is super complex.
So if you're competing with the big box retailers like Best Buy who are selling their own warranties in store, how are you going to actually get consumers to download the app if you can't encourage them to download it at the point of purchase?
Well, so that's a great thing about our product. You don't have to download at point of purchase. You can download way before. And what we've done up until this point is really a ton of ads on Facebook and testing a ton of things, a ton of messaging to get consumers in. And we're also moving our app to online so that you don't have to just purchase in the app. You can also go online and purchase.
Right, I guess my point is that I'm not thinking about a warranty until I'm at the store buying something.
Exactly. And the great thing, we have our customers, when they know about us before they get to that purchase, as soon as they hear that word extended warranty and they know about UPSI, they pull out their mobile device. So we actually have people who've taken pictures at the register with the associate standing behind them and taking a picture of their receipt. So it's about how do we get in front of that purchase and not exactly at that purchase.
So how do you get in front of that purchase and not at the time of purchase?
So today we're working on a couple of distribution channels, one with a really big insurance company that we're going to partner with, and they have over 11 million members that we're going to partner with and get into their distribution channels. And we have a couple other things working at this point.
Have about 2 minutes for audience questions. If there are any audience questions, 2 minutes. 2 minutes goes by fast, and that's how fast it went by. Thank you so much, Clarence. So the Kauffman Foundation created the 1 in a Million competition to showcase some of the stellar startups in the 1 Million Cups community and to provide educational opportunities for those entrepreneurs. All of the semifinalists have received one-on-one coaching and education through the competition, and they, like all 1 Million Cups presenters, have learned important skills through the Kauffman Founders School, a free online educational program. Here to tell us more about Kauffman Founders School is Amanda Schneiders.
Thank you. Hi guys, I'm Amanda Schneiders with the entrepreneurship team at Kauffman Foundation, and just wanted to give you a little bit more information about Kauffman Founders School. This is our free online education resource for entrepreneurs who are looking to gain some knowledge or familiarity with subjects they struggle with in their businesses, whether they're just starting or they're growing a venture currently. Some of our series are broken down into topics and then led by world-renowned experts, anywhere from investors to entrepreneurs, academics, and entrepreneurial thought leaders. Series like Lean Approach with Steve Blank, Startup Boards with Brad Feld, Leadership and Motivation with Dan Pink, and any of you who have presented at 1 Million Cups know Powerful Presentations with Nathan Gold. We're also getting ready to release a series coming up soon on acquiring angel investment. So we hope you guys check out the site, and we invite you to start learning with us today at kaufmanfounderschool.org.
As an entrepreneur, you undoubtedly have a lot of questions. You may be asking yourself, should I found my company with my best friend? What do I do if I go out on a sales call and someone slams a door in my face? How can I best protect my intellectual property? And what unique story can I tell to compel others to be interested in who I am and what I'm doing? At the Kauffman Foundation, we've seen firsthand the effect that education can have on founders and the development of their companies. Kauffman Founder School is designed with the entrepreneur in mind. With its creation, we've tapped the potential of online learning, creating a curriculum that entrepreneurs can learn from anywhere, anytime. Founder School content is organized in modules that entrepreneurs can learn from on an as-needed basis. Lectures presented by subject matter experts are embedded in a curriculum. You'll find an introductory lecture and a list of subtopics that are covered in that module. Providing entrepreneurs with the skills and knowledge they need to create and grow companies is central to the mission of the Kauffman Founders School. As Mr. Kauffman once said, every individual that we can inspire, that we can guide, that we can
help to start a new company is vital to the future of our economic welfare.
Thank you, Amanda. All right, it's time for our fifth and final finalist here today. Please help me welcome the founding partner of Drybox from San Antonio, Texas, David Nauman.
Hello, my name is David Nauman, and I'm the founder and president of Dry Ventures Incorporated. We are in the rescue business, and we save people from their worst nightmare. May I borrow somebody's cell phone, please? Nobody, huh? It happens. Over 100,000 cell phones accidentally get wet each day in the United States. Being without a working cell phone is unbearable, and spending hundreds of dollars on a replacement just adds insult to injury. Our product is Drybox, the new way to save a wet phone fast. Our patented pending system uses a combination of technologies to rapidly remove moisture from a wet phone in just 30 minutes, giving it its best chance for revival. Drybox is like CPR for a wet phone. Rice, popular home remedy and our major competitor, is not the answer. It can take days for rice to dry a wet phone, which generally is well past the window of opportunity to save it. Drybox is the new solution, and in just 30 minutes, provides a resolution. Drybox is a fully automated self-service machine customers can use to dry and save a wet phone. We don't sell the machine, we just lease the space from a retailer, and our machine charges customers $35 for the 30-minute service, which comes with a full money-back offer. A customer comes up, slides a credit card to access an available drying chamber, and places their phone inside. The phone stays secure the entire time and can only be retrieved by using the same credit card after the process is complete. This past April, we introduced 12 self-service machines with the largest grocery chain in Texas. Grocery stores are great locations because of convenience and awareness. 30,000 people a week walk through their doors. With no advertising, our locations began averaging 2 customers a day, making a profit of $1,200 per month per location. A unique benefit of the self-service is that we control the locations and we control the revenue. We just pay the retailer a rent. Another unique benefit is that our machine has no consumables and no scheduled maintenance, which gives us a higher profit margin than most self-service machines in the marketplace. Customers love Drybox because it saves time, hassle, and money. Retailers love Drybox because they receive revenue and customers in their store with 30 minutes to spend while their phone is being dried. We are expanding locations across Texas, but our goal is to have Drybox service nationwide. Well, it's happening. 2 months ago, we received an unsolicited call from the largest retailer in the world, Walmart. interested in having Drybox in their stores. After they reviewed our information, we have an initial 50 location rollout plan for the first quarter of next year. Transferring our current success into an eventual 2,000 Walmart locations would generate a gross profit of $30 million a year. Next step, Drybox worldwide. People often ask us, does Drybox really work? Yes, it works. It takes all the moisture out of the phone, which is exactly what you want to do. And most phones can be saved if the moisture is taken out within 24 hours of initial liquid exposure. Another question we get is, how did the Drybox concept come about? Well, that's a question I love to answer because it's a great story. It's the classic, necessity is the mother of all invention. Well, a few years ago, the wife of a garage inventor came home crying because her phone fell in a mop bucket. He couldn't believe she was so upset, but he took her to the wireless store and asked the young associate if there's anything they could do. He said, this happens all the time, but we can sell you a new phone at $400. Well, this is when he became upset and said, is there any other option? And he said, yeah, you can go home and put it in rice for a few days. And he tells this a lot better than I do, but he said, go home, put it in rice. The phone's wet, not hungry. This is the 21st century, and there's a growing problem, and nobody has a solution. And the young associate became a little flippant and said something to the effect of, well, look, old man, if you have a better idea, go figure it out yourself. And that's exactly what he did. While he didn't save his wife's phone, he did come up with a solution. And I, by chance, met him when he had his first working concept. It dried my daughter's iPhone. I was amazed. I said, you have something huge here. I think I could take this big. You want to be partners? He said, okay. And the rest is history. Well, as Lee Corso says on ESPN, not so fast, my friend. And Thomas Edison was right when he said success is 10% inspiration and 90% perspiration. I've dedicated the last 4 years to the Drybox concept. With a few help with vested partners in needed areas of expertise, our team is equipped and committed to making Drybox a huge success. Passion, persistence, and hard work are paying off, and Drybox will soon be known as the new way to save a wet phone. Thank you.
Thank you, David. We have 4 minutes for questions from the judges.
A couple of questions. One, is your warranty still void after the drying technique, or is it good enough that you actually can get warranty coverage on your phone? And two, get the Walmart because they sell phones at their stores. Seems like the distribution strategy should be targeted more towards retailers and or like Apple stores and other things that actually have the opportunity to sell you a phone in the 30% of the cases where it doesn't work.
Yes, it's a good question. First of all, to address the Walmart, they actually like it because we are an option. They sell phones and they see it as this will bring customers in, it provides them an option, it can save the phone. If it doesn't, they can buy a new phone. It does not void the warranty. The Drybox doesn't make any claim to do that. If you're referring to sometimes the red tags, no, it doesn't do anything with the warranty of the phone.
I'm trying to understand a little bit of the unit economics. Can you give me a sense of how much it costs to manufacture one of those things and then how much it costs to lease space in each of the retailers?
Sure, absolutely. Right now in our units, we're currently adding locations across Texas. We've just met recently with the largest manufacturer of self-service machines, Flextronics. We believe we'll get the cost down by an additional 25%. Right now it costs us about $10,000, and we believe we can get it to under $7,000. So the economics behind it is we're doing on our locations, we now have 25 locations across Texas. We do about 2 customers a day. It's a net profit. We have an over 50% profit margin. And Walmart is a great location just because of the sheer traffic. They self-advertise.
So you're looking at about a 5-month payback period on the hardware?
Yes, ma'am.
Technology, are you protected? Do you have any patents?
Yes, we do. I said patent pending. It is patented. We've got design and utility patents on it, and we filed internationally.
And percent of success when somebody brings you a wet phone, how many times do you actually save it? What percent?
Well, there's a lot of variables involved, but for the most part in our initial testing, we did over 2,000 phones. We had about a 75% success rate. The most important thing is to get it as soon as possible because as time goes by, it will start corroding, which is one of the reasons phones permanently are damaged. So we don't claim that we will guarantee success the phone every time, successfully save it. That's why we offer a money-back refund, but the sooner the better. and that's, it gives somebody at least a 30-minute resolution before they have to file an insurance claim or go out and purchase a new phone.
Can the technology be miniaturized in a way that would make it a consumer product I could put in my daughter's Christmas stocking?
That's a great question. No, we can't. We do have a desktop version that's a smaller version, but the components inside for our technology are very expensive. So we don't see it ever as being a consumer product because it would be a one-time sell and we'd have to sell it for $4,000.
And the customer doesn't have to try to plug the phone before they try it, right?
No, they do not.
If you actually plug it, you're done.
That
That
does hinder it, and we do communicate that on the machine to give them full disclosure and let them know what their chances are.
So you're at 75% success.
That is correct. For most phones, for phones that are dried within 24 hours. However, we have had phones that have been wet, and it's been days, and they are successful too. Every instance with water with electronics is a snowflake. So what we like to do is provide a service that can save it. If not, it was 30 minutes. They get the money back.
I'm wondering if there's not an opportunity, like if you can't save a phone, you immediately know that you've got a potential phone customer that you're looking at, and I'm wondering if there's not other opportunities to try to monetize the 30% that you're failing on.
I think that's why Walmart likes us.
Or you might do it yourself.
I'm sorry?
You bring a tremendous amount of value if you refer a customer.
Absolutely. There are a lot of opportunities.
If there are no other judges' questions, we have 2 minutes for audience questions. 2 minutes.
Hi, excuse me. How do you deal with the new up and rising market of waterproof and water-resistant phones? Because who's to say how many phones are going to be like that in 5-10 years?
Sure. I think over time technology does advance, and those water-resistant phones have been out for some time, some to limited success. We've actually tried and had customers that said, this phone was supposed to be waterproof, and I used your machine and it saved it. So I think in time that does happen. Drybox does have opportunity worldwide. There are billions of cell phone users worldwide. So I think there's a nice cycle for us.
You have a question right here?
Yes, I do. Will Drybox be paying for the speeding tickets as people race to the stores to save their phone? No, my real question, you breezed over it, but you said there's a smaller unit. Can you talk about the marketing strategy for that? Because I could see companies putting this on every floor to save their employees' phones.
Yeah, that's a good question. Again, it goes to the price of the components are expensive. So we have done that. We've partnered up with some, in the beginning, some repair shops. We've also done it with some retailers. We have found that the self-service is beautiful because it self-advertises. And if it's in high traffic areas, they'll see it, they'll know about it, and they use it. And that's our highest profit model. But people do race in, and we've had people at the store say, we had a guy Saturday morning came in soaking wet. He didn't even take time to dry off. He just wanted to save his phone.
Question?
Does your technology do anything to analyze the water hardness or the organicity of the water and maybe pre-filter it or do anything like that?
No, sir. No, it does not.
Does it know if it's sparkling water or? One more question?
Yes, I have a good friend that is in the phone repair business. Do you have a smaller machine that can do that for them that he can purchase?
We do, and like I said, we did that in the beginning, but our best model is we've seen the traction is the self-service with the retailers, the large retailers.
One more question real quick.
How does the refund work? What's to prevent a customer from coming in, drying their phone, and then claiming that it doesn't work and just getting the money back?
David, I'll give you 15 seconds.
Okay, great question. It's all processed through our website. Like I said, we get about a 7% request for refund. It's easily done through the website. They fill out a form, and we just give them a credit receipt back. And it usually takes about a day or so.
David, what if I have a wet dog?
David,
thank you so much. Thank you so much, David. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, that is our 5 finalists, and now the judges, if you would like to go ahead and excuse yourselves for some high-level deliberation right through that door. I think we have the high-level deliberation room for you. Thank you so much. While the judges take a few minutes to deliberate on the winners, I'd like to let you know that the 5 entrepreneurs you met here today were selected from a group of 15 semifinalists who competed here at the Kauffman Foundation yesterday before a panel of esteemed judges. And after yesterday's competition, all 15 semifinalists had a chance to take the day honing their skills that are essential to their success. They came here with passion, courage, and a solid sense of who they are. They leave stronger, and we'd like to go behind the scenes right now and get you a look at training day.
There's 15 of us competing for 5 slots, so it is a competition, but it's a friendly competition.
I mean, sure, it'd be great to win, but it's the other things that we're getting, tangible things that we've gotten out of this process. From the moment I got picked up at the airport and rode in with one of my fellow semifinalists, and we were talking about each other's projects.
We are in the rescue business and save people from their worst nightmare, a wet soda.
It's a fully adjustable and flavored cartridge that allows you to personalize each sip.
Throughout the night, Idle Smart will turn the truck on. It'll blow the heat, raise the temperature back to say, let's say 70 degrees.
What's the switching cost for them?
You know, you have to really be clean and crisp and concise and try to tell a story in 3 minutes or less, and it's really hard to do.
It feels like it's over in about 10 seconds, is what it feels like.
You use examples that they're already familiar with to try and make sure that they can connect.
We help individuals and organizations sleep really well at night.
Make sure that people see the passion behind what you're doing and that you're authentic.
I personally have always felt very guilty using a single-use disposable container, and so I launched GoBox.
How many different sizes does that come in?
We have 3 sizes.
What is your plan for distribution in the future?
So right now we're working with 3 different partners we're in contract negotiation with.
I think the most important thing is conveying that passion and that we have the ability to execute on it. Please join us in making the toy industry more accessible, more social, and more creative.
It's like throwing out a lure, right? You're just trying to get people interested.
And if you don't grab them in 30 seconds, you've pretty much lost them.
What an incredible exercise to crystallize your thinking and really get down to fundamentals.
Our mission is harvesting the power of the world's oceans.
It's really the difference between the hardware piece and the software piece.
With the coaching that we received after the fact, which was incredibly valuable, to figure out, okay, how can I take these complex concepts and whittle them down to their core essence in a way that makes it really easy and intuitive for people to immediately say, oh, yeah, I get it.
It's not the prize in and of itself, it's the opportunity to learn from the coaches that are here, and it's another opportunity to get out there and let people know we exist.
In the Q&A, I felt like you were just jumping on the answers way too fast. Allow the people to finish asking, take a breath, pause. Instead of making it about the piglet, make it about the farmer.
Okay.
And the farmer is losing revenue. You're generating income or you're losing income.
Well, regardless of what I think, it's more important that other people grasp it quickly.
That's right.
There were a lot of really great businesses with really smart entrepreneurs who gave great pitches.
I've never seen pitches where you've got 15 people in 3 minutes and every single one of them is strong. I'm sorry I'm not going to be a part of the finalist group, but just being part of the process has been fantastic.
You know, you just got to push forward and continually learn from everything that you do. You know, if I gave up every time someone said no or kicked you down or didn't take your cold call, like you shouldn't be doing this.
At the end of the day, you wouldn't need to follow your heart, you need to follow your passion and do what you love.
You know, the general glue that holds entrepreneurs together is the hope to control one's destiny.
This is a soil. It's a very rich soil to grow entrepreneurs.
We're all sort of in this same entrepreneurial journey.
My mother used to always tell people, well, my daughter wants to save the world. And that's just been the way I've lived my life, and all the work that I've done has been around trying to make the world a better place.
Perfect. All right, you just had a chance to meet them on the screen. We'd like to recognize them in person here as champions of innovation, the semifinalists. Please hold your applause to the end. When you hear your name called, please stand up. Ladies and gentlemen, Yulin Lee, founder of A. Gill from Shawnee, Kansas. Andy Gay, co-creator of the Circle Bottle from Sarasota, Florida. Brian Allen, general manager of Crowd Energy from Zephyr Hills, Florida. Laura Weiss, inventor of GeoBox from Portland, Oregon. Ryan Klinger, co-founder of GoWorks from Asheville, North Carolina. Ryan Bennett, founding partner of Idle Smart from Kansas City, Kansas. Maeve Jobson, industrial designer and toy maker for Increment of Providence, Rhode Island. Joseph G. McCarthy, co-founder of iPorlets from Lake Forest, California. Ken Morris, founder of, Kinetic IQ from St. Paul, Minnesota. And John Schnipkowit, creator of NextStep.io from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And of course, to judge all those semifinalists, we had another panel of esteemed judges. They are here as well. Please help me in recognizing them and thanking them for investing so much of their time in selecting our 5 finalists for you today and coaching all 15 of the entrepreneurs. We please stand up as well. We have Trey Bowles, co-founder and chief executive of the Dallas Entrepreneur Center, Alicia Harold, founder and chief executive officer of the award-winning My Ed Match, Sherry Turner, a leader with 1KC for Women, and they couldn't be with us today, Anita Newton, vice president of marketing at Acknowledge, a global ad tech firm, and our 5th judge was Nathan Gold, a pitch coach who also couldn't be with us this morning. Thank you so much for your time. So we have a few minutes. The high-level deliberation continues at this very moment. So I thought we'd get maybe some of our entrepreneurs who are in the semifinalists, ad-libbed, impromptu. You, sir, on your cell phone. Come on up here. I want to have a few words with you. Let's talk a little bit about life, love, and the pursuit of happiness. Tell us a little bit about, John, about what it was like being part of this event and what you were able to take from the training and education component that you received yesterday.
Yeah, sure. So, I think entrepreneurship is it's a team sport, right? And I think we definitely saw that yesterday and, helping the finalists and, cheering each other on. And we saw a lot of great quality pitches coming in, and I think everybody learned something working with the judges who really, gave a lot of their time yesterday. So personally, it's always good to just have that opportunity to get out and pitch and really work on how do you describe your product to people. And it's a lot different than what you're doing normally where you're, pitching one-on-one selling and doing that, so.
Let me ask you this. What would you say to someone who was going to maybe pursue being a part of this event next year? What would you give them as advice? What have you learned that you could pass on to entrepreneurs?
So 1 million cups is a great start, but always be pitching, right? So it's always every opportunity you have, you meet a random person, try out something different, right? It's that first hook, like how do people react to it? So always work on that and you'll help people believe in your business.
Thanks, John. That was unscripted. That was impromptu. He didn't know that was coming. That was off the cuff. Let's get one of our judges up here to talk a little bit. You, sir, you look excited to be here. Come on up. Let's talk a little bit about this in the business is what we call vamping. It's a musical term, and it means let's kill some time for the judges and their high level of deliberation. As a judge yourself, talk about what kind of criteria or what's going on behind the scenes there, because you saw the finalists as well. What does the deliberation process consist of?
Well, it's difficult because you all did such a great job, and so it's really kind of honing down into the mixture of how was the presentation to what's the business model look like, what's the true opportunity for success, because in the end you want to look back a year from now and say, for the next group of finalists that make it, the one that won last year is now here, it's now doing this. And so you have to take a look at the viability of a marketplace, where you think something can go. How good was the information that was conveyed? Was it thoroughly conveyed? Did they check all the boxes of the judging lists that you have? And you have to work all that stuff into it in a very short amount of time, giving each one of them the opportunity to think through and talk through what they said. But then you got to compare them against everybody else's experience and background as well. So it's a difficult process to go through, and it's actually especially in 15 or 20 minutes to get through something like that. But I think the key is that you guys were just phenomenal in the way you communicated. You should all be very proud, as should the semifinalists from yesterday. You guys really represent entrepreneurs across the country in a positive light, so thanks for doing that.
So Trey, you saw some, if not all of the finalists today, and you also worked with them, coaching them a little bit yesterday. Talk about the challenge of that, having a pitch that they presented in a semifinal round, and then getting coaching advice and some insight, and then trying to, within 24 hours, integrate that into the pitch that you saw today.
Well, I think the key, and I think that's why they brought in Nathan Gold, because he does that for a living, but really the key is to give somebody just a few key elements so that it doesn't have to change their entire pitch, but maybe say a little less of this, a little bit more of this. How can you effectively get across the key elements, or as I call it, the formula, to communicate what your business is doing? And if you can do that in a way that's not overwhelming, but just gives them a few key pieces that they can remember to present for the next day, you can truly be helpful to them as opposed to messing with their heads a little bit.
Thanks so much, Trey. Again, impromptu, off the cuff, not planned. So we heard from one of our semifinalists. We heard from Trey a little bit. Let's talk to one of our finalists. Chris, come up here for 1 second. Impromptu, Chris. That's how we do it here. That's how I roll. It's early in the morning. Sure, why not? So Chris, talk a little bit about, so you went through the whole process, you went through the semifinal round, you got some education, some tips on that. How was that integrating into this today? Tell me about your journey from semifinalist to finalist and how you were able to kind of conceptualize all that and put everything you learned into the presentation you did.
Well, is this still on? Candidly, the 3-minute pitch was way harder than today. To try and fit the relevant content into 3 minutes was a major challenge. What I continue to take away from things like this is the amount of talent and presenting skills that I see at things like that. It's like, I'm just blown away that, all 15 yesterday were phenomenal. You can tell there's passion. People love what they're doing. Every business was different, too. I don't think there's any of the same at all. Totally different industries, but the passion is what transcends all of the presenters.
As an entrepreneur yourself, what do you see as kind of the barrier to entry? Because we hear that all the time about people have an idea, but they just don't know how to proceed. They don't know how to kind of go through and make that into reality. What do you see as the primary obstacle? And what a crazy question. How do you overcome that?
I think that's a multi-billion-dollar question. I think the advice that I find myself giving over and over again, and this actually comes from my co-founder, Kevin, he tells the story better than I do, and that is, if you go down the journey of being an entrepreneur, know that you are going to want to quit so many times. That is a common thread. I think all 15 and 5 finalists here at some point, multiple times, have wanted to quit that journey. And if it's something you really believe in, it kind of keeps you coming back again.
All right, thanks so much, Chris. Again, impromptu. Right now, we're going to have an impromptu karaoke contest. They didn't know this. But do we have like any, like Don't Stop Believing or something? No, we don't have that. Well, it's been about 10 minutes for the judge's deliberation. I'm going to continue to vamp with one of the best vampers in Kansas City. Ladies and gentlemen, here to kind of help me announce the winners when they finally get up here, let's have them say a few words. Mayor Sly James, come on up here, Mayor. Let's do this. Look, she's running at you with a microphone. Look at that. Mayor, thank you. Good to see you again.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for being here.
So how is everybody, man? It's a full packed crowd here. Good stuff. Well, let me tell you how happy I am to be here. It's really exciting to see the growth of 1 million cups and to see the enthusiasm in this city as it relates to entrepreneurism and getting things done and startups. It's just absolutely fabulous. We had I don't know if you noticed it or not, but a week or so ago, we had a big party for you. A lot of people showed up wearing blue. It was all for you. About 800,000 of them. This program, 1 Million Cups, has grown to be an international event. And it's kind of like Global Entrepreneur Week is an international event. And to know that some of these things had their roots in Kansas City is absolutely tremendous. To see entrepreneurs here in Kansas City, absolutely tremendous as well. All I can tell you is that if you have a genius idea and you want to get that done and you want to start up, this is the place to be. We keep getting accolades for being a great place for startups. And we got some work to do, there's no doubt about it. I know that we should try to get a little more money flowing, but we got some work to do. But this is still a great place to be. So let me invite all of you who are not from here to move here immediately. I will personally take you around and help you shop for houses and make sure that you're comfortable in our various neighborhoods. But one thing that I do want to do is, why don't we give everybody who participated in any way in this, but especially those who are finalists and near finalists, a big round of applause, because they deserve it.
Mayor, we talk about Kansas City, what a great city it is, and, the sports teams and all that stuff, but we've seen recently a lot of technological companies have come to Kansas City and have done really great work here. Talk about, obviously that's important for a myriad of different reasons, but talk about why Kansas City is so attractive for younger entrepreneurs and tech companies.
Well, one of the things that I think makes us attractive is that it's an easy place to live. We have a good infrastructure in terms of our people. People here are friendly, they're helpful. We have a pretty good workforce. We are certainly affordable. We're in the heart of the country. We keep getting written up as doing some really neat stuff, and we do really neat stuff all the time. We really ask people to live here and want to be here, and we try and make them happy that they are here. We try to do all of those things that invite people to come live in our home city and feel like they're at home too, and I think that that word is getting around. We're also very accessible from just about any place. I mean, you can get to any place in the country in 3.5 hours from here. You can't do that from one coast to the other. If you're flying from East Coast to West Coast, that's a long hike. You don't have to do that here. The thing that I think is most important is that this is a collaborative city. We like working together. And when you like working together and you become good at working together, it makes the burden that entrepreneurs have to carry a little bit easier because they're not always carrying everything alone. So that's one thing. That's a lot of stuff, I think.
You know,
about
Mayor, I know
Kansas
you're
City.
very active on Twitter. We all know that. Do you mind if we grab a selfie here real quick?
Let's
Because I
do
know
that.
you've got
Yeah.
so many. Thank you so much.
Let's turn around and do another one.
Oh, okay, great. You know what? That's a Salvador Perez style thing. Oh my gosh, hold on. No, stop. Wait, it's okay. We have time to kill. There we go. Awesome. I'll let you off the hook for 1 second, Mayor Sly James. We'll get you back up here in a second. I only have so many hands. You know what we're going to do? Just freestyle for a second. I have a couple of questions myself, but we'll open up questions from the audience for the entrepreneurs as well. Just pick an entrepreneur and ask a question. Come up to these mics. I have a question for David, actually, really quick. David, do you run into any problems with the name Dry Box? I mean, not really having, kind of what it does on the box. Have you seen any incident with that?
No, we really haven't.
How did you come up with that name? You just thought it was Dry Box.
We had a lot of them, and Dry Box just kept coming up, and we just picked it.
You had a round table of great minds, and everyone came up with Dry Box.
Mine and my dog just seemed to bark at that one.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. Do we have any other audience questions for any of the entrepreneurs? Come on up. Right. Which entrepreneur do you have a question for?
Follow up with David.
David.
The latest iPhone is not marketed as being waterproof, but there's been some tests online showing that it can handle it pretty well. I would think that the next big innovation in smartphones will be making them waterproof. So not to be a naysayer in any way, but I think that could put a limit to the time frame for your product. What's your feeling on that?
Talked a little bit about that already.
Sure, we did. There is a technology out there. It's nano coating, and what's interesting is that may eventually be integrated into the phones. However, it protects the phone, but when the phone gets wet, that moisture still needs to be removed, and so that's where our application, our product, will still be applicable. So we know things happen and things change, but we feel like we definitely have a nice window of opportunity.
Any other questions? Fight for it.
I had a question for the UPSI, and did they do anything to evaluate the warranties to see if they are actually valid warranties or user unfriendly warranties that have things like waiver of suit and mandatory arbitration and waiver of class actions, that sort of thing in the warranties?
Yeah, you must be an attorney. So I got to give you an attorney answer. So yes, we have all those legalese in there, but we don't think consumers even care about that. We think consumers care about, if I crack my screen, are you going to fix it in a timely manner? So we're really focused on the consumer side of it. But yeah, if you look at our terms and conditions, we have all those legalese in there, but we don't care.
Another question? We don't care. That's our motto. I love it. Go ahead.
So with all these great entrepreneurs in the room yesterday or whenever it was, I'm assuming it was yesterday because the video showed a lot of rain, did you guys come up with ways to actually work with each other? For example, the one idea that I came up with is when your phone doesn't work, you should have signed up with UPSI, right? So I was just wondering if any of you, including the semifinalists here, have anything to report about that kind of benefit.
So,
Clarence?
Yeah, so first of all, you're brilliant. I just want to say that. But no, me and David has been talking about Dry Box and a partnership there. We would much rather you be able to dry your phone and save that cost versus us buying you a new phone. So there's been a ton of talk, I know, about partnerships and how do we work together. This has been a phenomenal group of entrepreneurs. And I've actually come here and learned more from these guys in the last 2 days than I've learned in the last month. So it's been unbelievable.
Questions from the audience. I'll take personal questions at this point. Do the judges know that I'm only under contract until 11 a.m.?
Hi, I have a question for David. So you were talking about like how your box dries phones, but how does that actually happen? Can you like explain the process?
I can explain the basic process. It uses a combination of vacuum and heat, but the recipe of that is the magic secret.
The magic secret. Hashtag the magic secret. Go ahead.
All right, I got a question about Bloom. I remember y'all being here last year and y'all had touched on the young people because eventually I do plan to retire. I don't want to work my whole life. But how are you going to appeal to us, like us teenagers and us wanting to retire and starting out maybe 18, 19, 20, starting a 401k?
Yeah, great question. And it's something that we've already spent a lot of time talking about is starting maybe a little bit earlier with our target market. A lot of our efforts right now are in the 25 to 45-year-old crowd. But you're 100% right. If we can build the brand for folks coming out of high school and then college, our hope is that Bloom, the name Bloom, becomes synonymous with the terrible name 401k. Nobody asked for a tissue, they asked for a Kleenex. And hopefully at some point people will say, have you bloomed your 401k yet? And that's going to take work that starts, you're right, at someone your age, so that you know when you graduate from college and start that 401k, or whatever the retirement account looks like at that point, you'll associate it with Bloom.
Thank you.
Question?
Yes, this is for the gentleman with Bloom. Okay, basically, we all know, what are you all going to do about hackers hacking your company's firewall like they did with Target? Because as we all well know, all it takes is one hacker to hack your company's firewall, steal folks' financial information, and then it's like, what are your company going to do about that?
Yeah,
this is
a very legitimate concern, I think, for any financial services company operating today. Clearly, we have all of the protocols and bank-level securities necessary that a registered investment advisory firm with the SEC needs to have. At the end of the day, though, I think that's a risk that I think every financial institution is still trying to figure out. The good news is even if somebody hacked in and took your login credentials to your 401k, the most nefarious thing they could do is place transactions in your account. They cannot withdraw the money, nor can Bloom, and I think that's an important point to make.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other questions from anybody in the audience? Sure, come on up. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. I won't bite.
Try and help you out.
I appreciate that, buddy.
So my question is for Max. Just wanting to kind of understand if you could give us an update on the solar industry. We've seen companies in California and China compete very hard in the manufacturing space to the point where neither of them are really making money at this point. Can you give us an update on that and how it plays into the marketplace where you're trying to lower costs?
Great question. The hard cost of solar, which is the equipment and the panels, it's basically bottomed, and it's not going to go lower than that. There was a law passed by the U.S. government, they called anti-dumping, because Chinese manufacturers basically were selling the panels under the price that it would cost them to manufacture in order to dominate the market. So after that law, kind of like they put custom tax on the imported panel manufacturers. So it's kind of tricky to track that because Chinese manufacturers, they just move their facility to Taiwan or like Korea and they're just like circling around. It's hard to deal with that, but the problem in the industry is not on the hard side, hard cost of solar, it's on the soft cost. Soft cost is basically the customer acquisition, sales, marketing, and balance of system. That's where we're focusing, and I think Peak My Solar will contribute to lower the soft cost of solar, and that will be the challenge in the industry for the next 3-4 years.
Question?
It's for the guy, Mr. Bloom, not Mr. Bloom, the guy from Bloom.
It's from my client, actually. She wants to know, I'm her private chef, and she has MS.
What's for lunch?
And I actually work for the MS Society. I work with people with disabilities, and like they have money, but they need help with figuring out where to put it and stuff like that. And a lot of times they can't get out of their, what they need. So they want to know, she wanted to know, have you thought about working with, like, not necessarily just MS Society, but she has MS, but like, diabetes and different things like that?
Well, I think, as I mentioned earlier, at this early stage right now, we're laser focused on the 401k space, and it just so happens there's about 90 million people today that have a 401k or 403b. So at this point, that would be a requirement to work with us. But one of the good questions I think you asked today was about other accounts. This market, 90, 100 million, the common thing is that most of them are not getting help from the financial services industry. So whether you've got disabilities or whether you don't, the bottom line is these people need help. We hope to start with 401ks, gain a brand and trust there, and then start to expand outward and offer other accounts.
A lot of people with disabilities have a huge 401k. They just don't know. They don't have the, they need help spending the money.
The drawdown strategy. Well, we feel like we've cracked the code with the Bloom app. I hope everybody agrees here too that somebody in a very friendly, intuitive, even somewhat irreverent manner can get help with what might be their single largest financial asset.
Okay, that's probably.
Thank you.
Good, Leanne?
Leanne, you feel good about that? Okay.
Hi, good morning. My question is also for you, Chris. I think you touched on this, and I may have missed the answer. So when I think 401k, I'm thinking, how are you going to get to them? Either the employer, the corporation that offers the 401k, or is it going to be who handles the 401k, Vanguard, Great West, or are you going to target the individual?
You actually answered the question. It's all the above, yes. I mean, we've got a definitely unique distribution strategy to go directly to the consumer, because that is our client. But getting to that consumer through the employer, through the platform like a Vanguard or Fidelity, through an advisor whose specialty is to set up 401k plans, those are all the conversations and partnerships we're working on today.
Before the next question, I just wanted to let everybody know that I'm doing a show at the Unicorn Theater. It's called Mr. Burns, a post-electric play. December 2nd is when that opens.
Sweet. So first question, can I throw one over to Sly James?
First question.
That's aggressive, isn't it?
I love it. Multi-question.
I'm just trying to vamp with you.
We got plenty of time, dude. Do your thing. Did you bring a ukulele and a mandolin? We'll do this.
I did. I got this.
Go ahead.
You ready?
This is for the mayor, you say, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sly, when are we going to get somebody from Kansas City running for president? Just saying. A lot going on in Kansas City. I know you endorsed Hillary. I get it.
There is a lot going on, and that person may be in this room sitting out there.
I like that answer.
Nice.
He's definitely not answering or asking this question. I can tell you that.
Can we get a USA chant going, do you think, if we try? No, go ahead.
You guys are the stars.
Thank you. Fair enough. Question for Bloom. So $1 a month, $15 a month. How is that financially feasible and sustainable into the future? I get, obviously getting into that market space. And then second question from that standpoint is there any fear of the financial institutions beginning to cut off like the ability to access the information, right? So like Mint being able to get access to Bank of America or whomever it is. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, there was actually an article that came out in the Wall Street Journal a couple weeks ago where several big firms, Jamie Dimon at the bank and Wells Fargo, were starting to do that. Let me tell you, if there's ever a signal that we are on to something big, the fact that the incumbents are trying to stifle disruption absolutely tells me that we're headed the right way. And ironically, that usually backfires. We're aware of that. I'm not fearful of that yet. The business model, what makes Bloom unique is that we've figured out, before any other company has, how to build the technology to automate the process of investing in someone's 401k account. Where it used to take a human being maybe 20 minutes, through technology and automation, we've got that below 10 seconds. So that is what has allowed us to bring this pricing to $1 a month, which we're not making money on, but clearly profitable at $15 a month.
Fair enough. Thanks, Guy.
All right, thanks, guys. We got the judges coming back from their midday nap. Thanks so much for getting that in. That was great. Good stuff. Okay, the time has expired 10 minutes ago. But let's have, before we do that, let's have one more round of applause for all of our sponsors today, KCPT, The Roastery, for making this happen. And now, Mayor, this is not a tease. Come on up here, Mayor Sly James again, ladies and gentlemen. Stand on my right. That's how they want it, they say. Now is the moment we've all been waiting for, the moment we've been waiting for. It's time to announce the 2015 One in a Million winners. When your name is called, if you could please join me on stage, stand to the right of Mr. Mayor here, and let's have a third place envelope for our third place winner. Katie Baker, thank you so much. Here you go, Mayor. This is for the third place winner and the winner of $1,000 here.
The third place winner is Swine Tech.
Matthew Rhoda. That's third. After/before third comes second. Second place winner. Here's a nifty envelope for you, Mr. Mayor, for the second place winner and the winner of $5,000 here at the One in a Million event.
The second place winner is Drybox.
Drybox. David.
Congratulations.
What took so long? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. That's good. It's good that it took so. They took your microphone. No, they didn't take your microphones away. All right, and now from our initial field of 337 contestants, the winner of this event, who will receive $10,000. It comes in a gold envelope. How fancy! There you are, Mr. Mayor. The winner. Do we have a drum roll? No.
The winner of first place, a very deserving company, one that Marcello Claret will be entertaining, and the only one, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going off script. First place winner is Bloom.
Bloom. We've got this huge check for you. Mr. Mayor, you want to help present that? You want to hold that check? Good job, buddy. Wow. And here, get all the photos in.
Come on over.
There's a. Sure, bring them up. Let's get the whole team up here real quick. The Bloom team up here. If we can get someone up here to hold this number one, that would make me happy as can be. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner, $10,000. Congratulations. The Bloom team coming up here as well. I'd like to thank all three of our judges for being here and helping us out today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, the Kauffman Foundation. Please visit 1millioncups.com for more information. The last thing I'm supposed to say is goodbye. Thank you.